Dear doTERRA family, welcome to our weekly webinar. I hope you're doing great and have some good times ahead. Please let me take you now exclusively to Utah. I am proud to present for the next webinar some amazing presentations from our Leadership Retreat 2022. Watching these films, you can learn, feel excited, and get connected. Imagine you will be there like watching it from the very first row. I would suggest to get something to write notes, some refreshing drinks, and last but not least, turn on your diffuser and use your most loved oil. Please lean back, relax, and enjoy the trainings.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your double blue diamond, U.S. founder Natalie Goddard.
Love you all so much. It feels so good to be together, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. You have been given so much already this morning. Do you have a little bit more? Can you fit in a little bit more? Great. I am excited to share with you a little story. A story of a farmer that planted some seeds. And some of those seeds fell among good soil, and some fell among rocky soil. Every day he cared for the soil. Every day he watered it, and he took care of it. And then the sun came, and the seed that was planted in that good soil and cared for, it thrived. It grew. But the seeds that fell in the rocky soil or didn't have deep roots, it withered and it died. Any of you feel like you maybe have some leaders that have withered and died? Some builders out there that when the sun came, they didn't quite make it? How many of you feel like, hey, they're still alive, but they don't have deep roots, right? We need deeper roots. Well, in this analogy, doTERRA is the seed. It's amazing. It has incredible potential to do good. And the soil is the whole person, not just one part of the person, like their physical health, or they can come to doTERRA to have more of a social experience. But every part, all the 5 parts of who they are is what is required for us to go deep, okay? These are all the needs that we have, right? Each of us have these needs, and each of our builders and leaders have the same needs. I've heard in doTERRA before, I've heard people say, actually, we just do business together. How does that work if you just do business? This is a relationship business, and it requires going deep in all 5 areas. We've consulted and mentored big leaders, people that you would not believe how their relationships with their builders and partners are. Because maybe they tried to grow too fast, or maybe they didn't care enough to dig deep. So, now that we know about the needs, you can also know that the love that we pour, that's the water. That's what we need. That's the rain that comes down, the love that we pour over so that things can grow. The sun, that's the resistance. And like we all know, that's going to happen. Whether it's COVID, divorce, tragedy, war, it's coming. Have we seen the end of resistance, friends? No, right? It will continue to show up. That's not our business, right? Earthquakes, wars, that's not our business. But our business is to love. And love works. That's what we have control over in these relationships, in our partnerships, in working with our builders. And it only works 100% of the time, right? So it's really, really simple. I could sit down now and we'd be done. But do you ever wonder what love looks like? What does it look like to show up like this and really create partnerships that live and that will sustain through anything? In doTERRA, we are farmers, not hunters. We are growers, right? Have you ever thought that, okay, all the growers on this side of the bottle, we are the growers on the other side of the bottle, right? We as builders, as leaders, we grow people, we grow leaders. And that is how we do, Corey's talking about this is how we're going to multiply the impact, right? But how do we do our part of multiplying the impact? What does that look like? It looks like loving more and loving better. And that's the way we grow up leaders. When we do that, the harvest cannot be prevented, right? So I have a handout that is in the virtual thing that you can look at, and it will help you rate your leaders. But the first most important thing is to be able to discover their unmet needs, right? I remember when I was trained by Laura Jacobs as a holistic health coach, and she said, you're a health detective, right? You're looking for unmet needs everywhere. And I started getting that mindset of, I gotta find the unmet needs. So friends, the better we become at doing that in our builders' relationships, not just with the people that we're trying to find the right natural solutions for, the better that we bring that over into our relationships and discover where those needs are the biggest and how we can meet them, that's where we'll drive deep roots. And that's going to make all the difference. Here's just some basic ideas on what you could do or where you could start to drive deep roots. But it really starts with powerful questions, right? When's the last time you asked your builder, hey, how are you really? Are we going there? Are we talking about these areas of their lives? Or do we wait till there's a total breakdown and then I can't talk to my builder anymore because they need a break for 3 months, right? So we can do this work ahead of time. And so I'm going to talk about 3 areas that we can go to drive deep roots. Number 1 is understand them. And this one's often overlooked, right? We're just like, hey, we got to get things done. We got to make this happen. We got to advance, right? I got to get to Founders 2.0. But if we don't take the time to understand them, like my friend Tatiana, the newest founder, did you see this cute girl up there yesterday? She's amazing. And you know what? She does a few simple things to stay connected to her leaders. On the way back from taking her kids to school, she just calls her leaders for a quick check-in. And I said, how often do you do this? Is this sustainable? She said, oh, it's just my drive back home every day. So I check in with a couple on one day, and I check in with the others on the next day, and then I'm checking in with the others on the other day. And I just follow what I feel, and I'm checking in. And she said, then I've done that check-in, so I know where they're at, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, right? Even financially, if they have worries, she knows where they're at, and she can go deeper if needed in those moments. But she also can address the logistics of the business and what needs to happen in the business because she has a relationship to work from, right? She's building that connection into her day. Where can you build that connection into your business? I find that oftentimes we are trying to I don't want to go there. I don't want to hear how discouraging your life is right now. I don't want to hear how you're feeling frustrated about those builders. What happens when we do this? If we will take that first few minutes of a mentoring call and really listen and really go deep and take that 10 minutes, I promise you it will be so much more effective and you'll get to what's needed to happen in the business. But when we try and just go straight to the business and we don't get the work done, sometimes we spend 50 minutes spinning our wheels, right? And then finally, maybe they have enough understanding that we can get to action items, right? Any of you recognizing this pattern? Okay, I see some hands up. So we can do it differently, right? Show that empathy, find out about their world, go there. See the world through their eyes. I like to think about it as I have my builder right here, right next to me, and I'm looking at the world through their eyes versus me right here and my builder there. And I'm never going to see things the same. I'm getting in their moccasins. I want to see the world through their eyes. Laura Jacobs says, meet them where they are. And this was so brilliant to me. How do we do that? How do we do that? Remember when Emily was talking yesterday about how the hours invested in the business have gone down in the last little bit? Do you remember that? And do you know what? Laura lives this. Laura said, those hours are going down. I better do a call on how to do a 10-hour work week. And so she met those her builders where they were at, and she said, let's do a call on how to do an effective 10-hour work week. Right? That's meeting them where they're at. Every one of us is on a developmental journey in doTERRA. Just like child development, and you learn things at different stages, this is so true in doTERRA, right? Where are you on this chart? Where are you in your developmental stages? Whether you're a child or a teenager in your development, it doesn't matter, just that you're progressing. And you know where you are, as well as your builders. You know where they're at. And then you can understand them and help them progress to the next level, right? Oftentimes, how do we respond to our builders? We respond to them as if they were at our level. And we've got to get out of our own shoes and into their moccasins again to see the world through their eyes, right? Oftentimes, how many of you need to ask this question to your builders now? Can we start again? I can't tell you how many times we've asked this question, and it's helped us to understand where they are and be able to take accountability for anything that we've missed along the way. It's a powerful starting place to start again. Number 2, believe. Friends, this is the simplest thing, but we noticed it straight out of the gates when we joined doTERRA. The people that believed succeeded. And we know that belief leads to action, which leads to results, which then solidify our belief. Do you remember the belief levels? One of the things that we've seen over and over again here is that you will not get beyond or to gold, a solid gold, unless you have belief in your builders. Okay? So we've got to believe if we want to go next level. It's required. What does that look like? I love what my friend Rachel Jones did. She did this vision board of her builders. And the reasons, she's got their names and the reasons that they will be successful, right? Why do we need to do that? The same reason you need to put a cute family photo up in your home, because we need to look and highlight the goodness, right? Because all of your builders' weaknesses and flaws, they're in your face all the time, right? And unless you do the work in between your ears, the work to believe in them and focus on what's good about them and why they will be successful, then things won't shift like they need to. Empowered Success has put together these vision boards, and whether your people are just starting out or you're going for hire, you've got those vision boards to take advantage of now. Find those in the Empowered Success library, right? I want to tell you about some of the things that I'm seeing in other farmers in doTERRA, other growers. Seth, everything he does is to grow belief. We've partnered on some live events where the main purpose is just to build belief. And you know what? It's revolutionized his business and the other people that we partnered with. It is blowing things up. All we do is focus on belief. Did you feel Christian's belief? It's high, right? That's intentionally done because his dad, his leader, has poured belief into him. He believes in him. And that's why his sister is joining and all the other people, because they feel the belief that Seth has and is pouring into them. That brings about new possibilities and new invitations. We're bringing builder prospects together and pouring belief into them. And their wellness advocate that brought them is getting all that too. This is my good friend and partner, Amy Fulmer. She and her husband, right? They're amazing. She and her husband, they left. They were top in another company. They left. They gave that up to be able to do what they do in doTERRA. They wanted real residual income. But they joined. COVID came. It was all over. And everything that they knew about hosting classes and booking classes from classes was gone overnight. It was discouraging. And I remember one night after we'd had an event that she and her husband are just outside of our garage, and she is in tears. I thought this would happen so much faster. I thought we would be here by now. I thought this would all come together. But it hadn't. What did Amy choose after that moment? I said, Amy, you cannot believe and say, I believe, I want to receive, but I doubt, right? These two cancel out each other. And so I said, we got to take the fear, doubt, and worry to the side. And you've got to believe even when it's hard to see why you believe. And that changed everything. They were diamonds. A few months later, she chose to believe, and she did that work right here, no matter what was happening or in front of her. She saw what she wanted to create, and she created it. Number 3, invest in them. Invest time, energy, money. My favorite experience with this is with some of our builders that I just love. They just had their 10th child, Mark and Jen Garrett. They're amazing. And he took a picture of my sandals at their home because I had gone to rub his wife's feet. Sometimes we invest differently than we're thinking about. So you be open to what it is for your builders and leaders. Sometimes they need it in a different way. So pay attention to their needs so you can deliver it. Jared and Heather Anderson, they are amazing. Love them. And I have seen them invest in so many ways, right? Before doTERRA, they were entrepreneurs. They invested in snow cone business. They invested in healthcare facilities. They invested in gas stations. They knew what it takes to be successful in business. Did they expect to come to doTERRA and not invest? No way. They invested big in doTERRA. They brought their time, their energy, and their money to the table to put together events, to get to where their people are. They show up time and time again. Last week, they did this big millennial mastermind, right? Because their newest builder is a millennial. So they're working and shifting whatever it is to show up and invest in their teams. Matt and Shantae Hall, how do you think they showed up, right? They showed up by bettering themselves. They kept investing in themselves to become better, to attract better leaders, okay? Do you know how many classes he recorded and improved his Portuguese before he found the amazing builder that he was to lead? So many, right? Now they invest in their people by going to be with them. They traveled to Brazil. They travel to Washington State to be with their people and find out their needs. And then they come to us and say, what about if we do this? What about if we do that? They just launched teams in India, and they're willing to travel, willing to get there, right? This right here is an event that we do every year. We do a partner mastermind and bring together our main qualifiers just to say, hey, let's huddle. How can we do this better, right? This was inspired by Laura Jacobs. I love this. Maybe your team needs a top leader mastermind. What if you brought together even 5 of your top leaders and found out their needs and teamed up better? What would that look like? We also do a partner chat that helps us invest and connect with them. I want to share with you about Lavena Painter. She's one of the amazing Hawaiians that have done so much, and they have invested in their business by choosing to create an Ohana team. Their team, each one of them, does what they are so good at. And that's how they come together. So they're all not doing every part. The ones that are great at continuing ed are teaching that class for the team. The ones that are great at the Zoom class do that. Everybody does their own individual classes, absolutely, does their own individual enrollments. But the photographer that came in, she's the one taking the photographs at the builder training so that everybody has a great headshot, right? They show up that way. They also incentivize in their business. They're investing in toothpaste, and they give that to everybody that enrolls within 24 hours. They give a guide to everybody that gets their first LRP. And this is what they're giving for their second and third LRP. They're investing in their business, and it's paying off. Friends, love works, but only every time. Grab an oil, pull it out, and I want you to just visualize for a moment. You are not the builder. You are not the leader that you were when you started. You have become so much more, and you have so much more to offer. I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself loving on, reaching, touching everyone that you were meant to lead. You are seeing their needs, you're meeting their needs, you're investing in them, you're doing that with so much wisdom. As you do that, the harvest cannot be prevented. You will experience rock-solid leaders, and you'll have growth, peace, and fulfillment no matter what. I'm so grateful for you. You've got it in you. I hope you can see it because I see it in you. Thank you.